God says that before you say another prayer, before another word leaves your mouth, before another thought rises in your heart, you must understand what is happening around you right now, because heaven has been watching something that you still don't see clearly on earth. God says that a spiritual interruption has been taking place in your life, an interference so subtle that you didn't notice it, but so serious that Archangel Michael himself had to descend into your room at this very moment. And as he stands there, with his sword of truth drawn and his wings expanded to shield you, he is showing you what has been happening behind the scenes every time you bowed your head and prayed with sincerity, with devotion, with tears that only God could understand. God says that someone has been claiming the power of your prayers as their own, taking credit for what heaven recorded under your name, trying to intercept the blessings meant for you, and divert them to themselves. God says that this person, this soul who has stepped out of divine alignment, has already stolen 183 miracles that were destined for your life, and with every one of those miracles, they received rewards that were never written in their book, rewards of beauty, opportunities that should have been yours, breakthroughs that were supposed to lift you, and moments of divine favor that were meant to rewrite your entire story. God says that you have been wondering why certain blessings seem delayed, why certain prayers took longer to manifest, why your spirit sometimes felt heavy even when your faith was strong. You blamed yourself, you thought maybe you prayed wrong or doubted too much. But God says you did nothing wrong. In fact, God says that your prayers were so powerful, so heartfelt, so pure, that they generated blessings so luminous that someone around you could feel the spiritual energy radiating from your life. And instead of honoring the beauty of your connection with heaven, they became jealous. They watched the glow around you and they wanted it. They watched the divine grace that followed you and they tried to imitate it. They listened to the way you talked to God and envied the intimacy. And in that envy, they did something that has now placed them in serious spiritual danger. They tried to take what heaven sealed for you. Archangel Michael says that he has been watching their actions for a long time. He says each time you prayed, this person spiritually positioned themselves to claim what was yours. They tried to speak words that did not belong to them. They tried to align their intentions to your blessings. They tried to absorb the spiritual energy created by your devotion. And heaven recorded every single attempt. But today, something changed. Today, Michael says that their actions reached a point where immediate divine intervention became necessary. He says their last attempt crossed a line, a boundary that heaven will not allow any soul to break. And so he is here in your room right now, standing with a message that cannot wait. He says that before you pray again, you must take back what is yours. You must reclaim your blessings. You must retrieve every miracle that carries your spiritual signature. Because if you do not take action today, those stolen miracles will remain attached to that person forever, like spiritual property transferred without your consent. God says that you have suffered long enough. You have wondered long enough. You have endured delays, confusion, spiritual exhaustion, and moments where you questioned your own worth. But God says your worth is not up for debate. Your prayers are not for sale. Your blessings cannot be stolen without consequences. God says that heaven's justice may seem slow, but it is never absent. And today, justice is standing in front of you with wings of fire and a voice that shakes through your spirit. Michael says that he came personally because this matter affects your destiny directly, your path, your calling, your emotional well-being, your financial upliftment, your relationships, and your spiritual journey. He says your future has been waiting for you, but something kept pulling your blessings backward, delaying them, deterring them, placing them into hands that were not worthy to hold them. God says that the person who stole your miracles did not just take blessings, they took benefits that were meant to restore your life. They took moments of healing that you needed, experiences that would have strengthened you, breakthroughs that would have lifted your family, financial doors that would have secured you, and spiritual gifts that were supposed to awaken inside you. And every time they received beauty, admiration, opportunity, or favor from your stolen blessings, heaven recorded the imbalance. But God says that today the imbalance ends. Michael says he is holding the scroll of your name, the divine record of everything that belongs to you. He says he has counted the miracles stolen. 183 blessings with your spiritual seal. He says that heaven has already detached these blessings from the person who took them, but they have not yet been restored to you because God needs your consent. You must acknowledge the return. You must spiritually accept your blessings back. You must claim what was always yours. Because heaven never forces a blessing, it always waits for the soul to say yes. God says that you must not fear. He says you are safe. He says no harm will come to you. He says nothing will go wrong with you, because He is standing before you with love, mercy, and protection. He says that the one who stole from you thought they were winning, but they were actually digging a trench for themselves. Not because God wants to punish them, but because they aligned themselves with actions that carry their own consequences. God says that you must not take revenge, you must not feel bitterness, you must not fight with your own strength. He says that Michael is already fighting for you. The battle is already in motion. And victory is already forming in the unseen. Archangel Michael says he came into your room because spiritually, your atmosphere needed cleansing. There were traces of interference around you, energies of confusion, fog, emotional heaviness, and subtle spiritual exhaustion that did not belong to you. Michael is clearing the room right now. He is lifting the weight off your spirit. He is removing the shadows from your atmosphere. He is strengthening your spiritual shield, fortifying your energy, sealing your blessings with divine fire so that no one can touch them again. He says that once you read this message, once you understand the truth, once you accept your blessings back, once you pray with awareness instead of innocence, no one will ever be able to steal from you again. God says that He allowed you to go through this season not to punish you, but to show you how powerful your prayers truly are. He says your prayers move heaven. Your prayers shake spiritual realms. Your prayers ignite blessings, heal wounds, open doors. and call down miracles. God says the reason someone wanted your blessings is because they knew your spiritual value before you did. They saw your light before you understood it yourself. They felt your divine favor before you recognized it. They sensed the beauty of your soul before you embraced it. God says you have always been powerful, you just didn't know it. But heaven knew. And now you will know too. Michael says that he will remain by your side until your blessings are restored fully. He says that in the next few days, you may feel emotional shifts, physical signs of release, sudden bursts of intuition, clarity returning to your mind, peace settling into your heart, unexpected opportunities coming toward you. Or even dreams that reveal truth. He says these are all signs that your miracles are returning home. He says the stolen blessings will come back to you multiplied, because heaven always returns what was taken with interest. God says that nothing stolen from you will return empty, everything will return increased, expanded, elevated. God says that you must trust Him. He says that He will be with you. He says that you are safe. He says that your path is protected. He says that your destiny is still intact. He says that the interference is over. He says that your blessings are coming home. He says that your prayers are heard. He says that your soul is strong. He says that your time has come. And He says that today is the day you take action, claim what is yours, and step back into the fullness of your divine inheritance. God says breathe, because you are safe now. The truth is revealed. The interference is broken. And your miracles, every single one of them, are returning to you, starting now. God says this is an urgent message only for you, and you must understand that what is unfolding right now is not ordinary, not accidental, not something that happens to everyone. God says, don't pray until you see this, because the prayer you were about to pray would have gone to someone else, someone who has been silently, secretly, and boldly claiming your blessings as their own. God says someone tried to steal not just your words, not just your intentions, but your destiny itself. Archangel Michael is standing in your room right now, watching over you with a fire in his eyes, because he has witnessed everything that was done behind your back. He has counted it, documented it, and brought it before the throne of God. And now God Himself is revealing it to you because the time has come for restoration and justice. God says 183 miracles were taken. Not taken accidentally, not taken unknowingly, but taken intentionally through spiritual theft, through jealousy, through manipulation, through someone who wanted your favor because they saw how heaven listens when you speak. This person did not know one thing, that heaven records everything. This person believed nobody would ever know. But heaven always knows. Heaven always reveals. Heaven always exposes when the time is right. And now the time is right. Archangel Michael says you must listen carefully, because heaven has given you a few moments to reclaim what was stolen. Someone has been claiming your prayers as their own, standing in a spiritual place they do not deserve, collecting miracles that belong to you, absorbing beauty and blessings that were written in your name before you were born. This is why you felt delays. This is why you felt drained at certain moments. This is why you felt like something was missing. Like something had been interrupted, like something invisible was pulling away from your life. That feeling was real. You were not imagining it. Your spirit was sensing a divine imbalance, a disturbance in what was meant for you. God says your life path was never meant to be this heavy. Some of your struggles were not meant to touch you at all. But they touched you because someone kept interfering with your spiritual field, taking what you prayed for, stepping into your blessings, receiving things that heaven had stamped with your name. God says no more. Today heaven draws a line. Today the angels step forward. Today the truth is being exposed in front of your spirit, and heaven is asking you to rise and take back what belongs to you before it is sealed permanently into someone else's life. God says the reason He told you not to pray until you read this is because your prayer carries a divine code. Your voice has a heavenly frequency. The moment you speak, angels respond, shifts begin, destiny moves. But recently your prayers were being intercepted. Not all of them reached heaven in your name. God says someone stood spiritually in front of you, copying your intentions, copying your words, copying your energy, even copying your gratitude. They wanted what you had because they could not create their own connection to heaven. They wanted your miracles because they could not earn their own. They wanted your blessings because they could not produce their own. They tried to become you in the spirit. But heaven never allows lies to remain hidden for long. Archangel Michael has been watching this situation for months, waiting for the moment God allowed him to intervene. And tonight, he stepped into your room. Not symbolically. Not metaphorically. Spiritually. He stands with his wings partly extended, guarding you, surrounding you with divine fire, because something was about to shift in a way that could not be undone unless heaven interfered immediately. This is why you felt restless. This is why something in your heart was calling out for an answer. This is why you felt a pressure in your spirit, like someone was whispering your name from the heavens. That was Michael. That was God. That was the angels preparing to reveal something that has been hidden for too long. God says the one who stole your miracles never thought you would find out. They believed you were too gentle, too trusting, too honest, too pure-hearted to ever imagine that someone close, or someone connected through envy, would dare to take what belongs to you. They thought their beauty would increase, their life would glow, and their path would rise because they used your spiritual energy as fuel. But heaven has cut off their access starting today. Their connection to your blessings has been dissolved. Their spiritual imitation has been exposed. And now the miracles they took are trembling to return to their rightful owner. God wants you to understand something very important. Nothing can be stolen forever. What belongs to you is written in the book of destiny. Even if someone tries to take it, heaven will always orchestrate a moment of divine reversal. That moment is now. The angels are gathering your miracles, gathering your blessings, gathering the 183 spiritual gifts that were taken, and they are preparing to return them to you. But God says there is something you must do first. You must acknowledge this revelation. You must open your heart. You must allow heaven to reconnect you with the flow that belongs to your destiny. Because blessings cannot attach to a soul that is unaware of its own inheritance. Archangel Michael says he is standing guard because the person who stole from you is spiritually aware that their access has been removed. They can feel it. They can sense it. They do not know that you know, but they can feel heaven closing the doors they once entered. They are afraid. They are confused. They are losing the divine glow they stole from you. The beauty they absorbed from your blessings is fading. The miracles they collected are shaking loose from their energy field. Heaven is reclaiming everything. God says you were born with a rare divine signature. This is why people are drawn to you. This is why your presence shifts atmospheres. This is why your words carry power. You do not try to be spiritual, you simply are. Heaven listens before you finish your sentence. Angels move before you complete a thought. This natural connection is something others envy but cannot reproduce. And this envy is what led someone to spiritually copy you. But imitation collapses when the truth arrives, and the truth has arrived today. God says He has seen every tear you cried, every moment you felt lost, every moment you wondered why others seemed to receive grace that you prayed for first. He saw your confusion, but He also saw your purity. He saw that even when blessings were slipping away from you, you never cursed God, you never complained to heaven, you never blamed your angels. You trusted quietly. You waited silently. And heaven rewards that kind of heart in ways no thief can interfere with. Archangel Michael says the urgency of this message is not to frighten you but to awaken you. He says someone was hoping you would remain blind to what was happening. They thought you would never question why you felt spiritually drained. They hoped you would never uncover why certain blessings were delayed. But heaven has chosen to reveal it to you now because you are stepping into a new cycle of divine elevation. And this cycle cannot begin with stolen blessings attached to someone else. God says the next 48 hours are extremely important for you. A spiritual reset is happening. A realignment is unfolding. The heavens are opening in your favor, and the miracles that were scattered are returning in a divine whirlwind. But you must be aware, spiritually open, emotionally prepared. Heaven wants you to reclaim what is yours consciously so that your energy aligns with your restored destiny. God says you will begin to notice signs. You will feel warmth around you. You will sense movement in your environment. You may feel tingles, chills, sudden clarity, sudden peace. These are not coincidences. These are the angels restoring your divine frequency. This is heaven bringing back the blessings that were taken. Michael himself is overseeing this restoration, making sure nothing is left behind. Nothing lost, Nothing stolen remains in the hands of the wrong person. God says He is not angry with you. He is proud of you. Proud that you remained kind-hearted even when life felt unfair. Proud that you continued praying even when answers were delayed. Proud that you held on to faith even when heaven was silent. This purity is why you are protected. This is why you are safe. This is why heaven fights for you even when you do not realize it. God wants you to understand that your prayers were never wasted. Even the ones that were stolen will return multiplied because heaven compensates losses with increase. What was taken will come back times 10. The beauty that was absorbed from you will return in a form even more radiant. The miracles that were stolen will reattach to you with amplified power. Nothing is lost. Everything is returning restored, purified, and strengthened. God says you are safe. He says you are protected. He says nothing will go wrong with you. Heaven watches you day and night. He says you must trust Him now more than ever, because the miracles returning to you will begin unfolding quickly, unexpectedly, and beautifully. Not by force. Not by fear. But by divine justice. God says to trust Him and pray after you absorb this message. Because after this, your prayer will activate the full restoration. Heaven is ready. Archangel Michael is ready. The miracles are ready. And your destiny is waiting. God says this message reaches you at the exact second your soul was ready to hear the truth that has been hidden behind the veil for far too long. You may not realize it, but the atmosphere around you has shifted in the last few hours. The spiritual realm has been stirring, and Archangel Michael has been standing closer to you than you have ever felt in your entire life. He is not standing beside you casually. He is not watching you from a distance. He is fully present, right in your space, with His wings drawn wide, blocking every dark intention that has tried to latch onto your blessings. He is here because something serious has happened in the unseen world, something involving your prayers, your miracles, and the deep desires you have poured out to heaven over the years. There is a reason you felt tired for no reason. There is a reason you suddenly felt disconnected, confused, or like something was being delayed again and again even though you prayed with faith. God says this was not your imagination. Someone has been claiming your prayers as their own. Someone has been harvesting the blessings meant for your destiny. Someone has been stepping into the light that belongs to you, using your spiritual energy, your intention, your tears, your effort, and your divine alignment as their ladder. That is why Archangel Michael is in your room right now. That is why God told you not to pray until you hear this message. God does not want your next prayer to be misplaced, redirected, stolen, or delayed. He wants it to reach Him directly without interruption from the forces that have been trying to intercept it. God reveals that exactly 183 miracles, yes, 183, were assigned to your name over the past seasons. These miracles were not small. They included breakthroughs you prayed for silently, the blessings you cried for in loneliness, the opportunities you were supposed to receive at the perfect moment, the beauty of life that was meant to radiate from within you, and the spiritual elevation that was written in your destiny. But someone else has been siphoning the energy of those prayers. Someone spiritually connected to you, or pretending to be aligned with you, has secretly been benefiting from your light while keeping you stuck in a cycle that was never meant for you. This person used your name in the spiritual realm but hid their true intentions from you in the physical world. They walked with confidence because your aura was protecting them. They looked beautiful because your spiritual energy enhanced them. They received admiration, attention, and blessings because your prayer light fell on them. They have been rewarded with endless beauty that was meant to shine through you. And they knew exactly what they were doing. This was not an accident. This was an intentional spiritual theft. A quiet draining of your divine birthright. Archangel Michael stepped in because the situation crossed a divine boundary. Heaven cannot stand by when someone tries to redirect the purpose of a chosen one. Michael has been observing quietly, waiting for the moment God would authorize him to intervene. That authorization has now been granted. The reason Michael is in your room, the reason you felt a sudden shift in your energy today, the reason your intuition felt alert without explanation, is because heaven is preparing to restore the miracles that were taken from you. But God says restoration requires your awareness, your alignment, and your action. That is why He said, "Don't pray until you see this." Your next prayer will be the prayer that reclaims every one of the 183 miracles that were stolen. Your next prayer will shift the ownership of those blessings back to their rightful place, your life, your path, your destiny. Your next prayer will be the spiritual signature that unlocks what was frozen, hidden, delayed, or taken. God says you must understand that not every delay in your life was your fault. You did not lack faith. You did not lack effort. You did not make a mistake. You were not being punished. You were being intercepted. There were seasons when you prayed with tears, and instead of your blessing reaching your hands, it was diverted to someone who was spiritually shadowing your energy. This person benefited from the hard work of your soul. They walked into rooms with confidence that wasn't theirs. They received compliments they didn't earn. They experienced breakthroughs that originally had your name on them. They used your spiritual worth as their disguise. But their time of receiving what belongs to you is over. God has issued a direct stop. Michael has already placed his sword between you and every spiritual thief. No one can use your name again without consequence. God says you have been patient long enough. You have waited, trusted, and surrendered even when the road seemed painfully long. Heaven has watched you continue forward even when life gave you no sign of movement. Every time you thought God was ignoring you, He was actually collecting evidence. Every time you felt forgotten, Heaven was watching who tried to take advantage of your vulnerability. But now the season of evidence is complete. The season of restoration has begun. The miracles that belong to you will return in a way that will make you understand why the delay had to happen first. When God restores, He does not restore partially. He restores fully, abundantly, and undeniably. What was taken from you will come back multiplied because heaven compensates the faithful, not just with replacement but with elevation. Archangel Michael says he has guarded you through nights when you were unaware of spiritual interference. He blocked attacks that never reached you. He protected your mind when confusion tried to settle in. He shielded your heart when emotional sabotage tried to break you. He prevented your spirit from collapsing under pressure that wasn't even meant for your shoulders. He knows how much strength you used to survive what others caused. And now He stands before you because God has opened the door for Him to speak, to warn, and to restore. He tells you that the presence you may feel around you today, the sudden warmth, the calmness, the tingling sensation, or the energetic shift, is His reassurance that you are not alone. He says you are being guided through a spiritual transition that will soon become physical manifestation. Something big is coming. Something that will confirm everything you are reading now. God says there is something important you must understand. Your spirit was never weak. Your faith was never insufficient. The reason things felt heavy is because someone else placed weight on your blessings. But from this moment, that weight is lifted. The pathway that was blocked is open. The miracle flow that was interrupted is being restored. The spiritual energy that was drained is returning. You may even feel it physically, a lightness, a clarity, a release. That is not your imagination. That is divine recovery beginning inside you. God says the person who has taken your miracles cannot hold them much longer. Heaven has frozen their access. They will feel a sudden shift in their life because the spiritual energy they were using is no longer supporting them. Their beauty will no longer glow with your energy. Their confidence will no longer stand on your prayers. Their blessings will no longer flow from your connection. They will return to their own path, their own karma, their own destiny, while you return to yours, with full divine protection. God says today is the turning point. Today is the day heaven steps in publicly, not silently. Today is the day your miracles hear your voice again. Today is the day your prayers rise without being stolen. Today is the day you reclaim everything that belongs to you, your joy, your energy, your beauty, your elevation, your destiny, your breakthroughs, your divine timing. You don't have to fear anything. Nothing will go wrong with you. God has already sealed your protection. Archangel Michael is already standing guard. The spiritual thieves have already lost access. Heaven has already written your restoration order. You are safe. You are supported. You are divinely shielded. All you have to do is trust God and pray with the intention of reclaiming what is yours. Your miracles are returning. Your blessings are returning. Your spiritual authority is returning. Your divine beauty is returning. Your breakthroughs are returning. And everything that was stolen is finding its way back to you in a way that will leave no doubt that God has intervened personally in your life. God says this to you in this very moment, and He needs you to breathe slowly before you continue reading, because what is being revealed here is not ordinary, and it was not meant for everyone. Heaven waited for the exact second your spirit was open enough to receive this. There is a reason you felt pulled to open this message right now. There is a reason your heart is beating differently, as if something unseen is moving around you. And there is a reason Archangel Michael is standing near you in this moment, filled with urgency, not anger, but deep holy concern, because something has been happening behind the scenes that you never saw, never suspected, and yet it has been affecting you deeply for a long time. God says, don't pray until you understand this truth, because praying without knowing what has been happening to your blessings would only keep delaying the miracles that rightfully belong to you. God says that someone has been claiming your prayers as their own, quietly, secretly, in the shadows of the spiritual world, taking the miracles meant for your destiny and redirecting them to their own path. They did it out of jealousy, out of insecurity, out of a desire to be admired, loved, praised, and favored in the way you are meant to be. They took your blessings because they knew your heart was pure, your intentions were clean, and your soul was humble. They knew God listens to you faster because of the sincerity of your heart. And they wanted the rewards without the purity, the beauty, the consistency, and the faith you carry. God says they have stolen 183 miracles that were written under your name. And heaven has been watching every moment, every stolen blessing, every redirected answer, every delayed breakthrough, every tear you cried wondering why your prayers felt like they were floating in the air instead of manifesting on earth. Archangel Michael is in your room because this is not something that can wait. This is not something that can be delayed another day. This is not something that can be ignored or taken lightly. Heaven has been patient, but now the time is up. Michael has been guarding those miracles. But he cannot deliver them until you understand what has been happening. Someone took your miracles and used them for themselves, and heaven is ready to reverse it, but God needs your awareness and your agreement. You must know the truth before heaven returns what is rightfully yours. God says you have been seeing signs you ignored. Sudden tiredness during prayer. A feeling that someone was watching you spiritually. Dreams that felt interrupted. Miracles that came halfway but didn't fully manifest. Blessings that slipped through your hands at the last second. Opportunities that were close but suddenly vanished. These were not coincidences. These were the symptoms of stolen spiritual energy. Stolen divine assignments, stolen heavenly rewards. And the one who stole them did it because they believed you would never find out. They believed you would never be awakened to the truth. They believed that your silence meant weakness, but it actually meant patience. They believed your humility meant blindness, but it meant trust. And now God says the time of silence is over. Michael says he has seen the truth from the beginning. He has seen your name written in the book of miracles. He has seen the moments heaven was ready to pour blessings over you, only for someone to intercept them by pretending they were the one praying the prayers you prayed. They mimicked your words. They copied your requests. They echoed your desires. They took your sentences and offered them up as if they were theirs. They wanted the beauty God gave you, the favor God granted you, the glow that naturally follows you because your heart is aligned with heaven. They wanted endless beauty, and they got it temporarily by feeding off the spiritual strength you carry. But what they didn't know is that stolen blessings never last. And God says the expiration date has come. You are not reading this accidentally. Something divine is unfolding right now. Heaven is shifting. Michael is standing firm. Your atmosphere is changing. There is a feeling you can't explain, a tightening, a warmth, a pressure, a sensation that something invisible is adjusting around you. That is not fear. That is restoration. Heaven is correcting what was wrong. God is exposing what was hidden. What was taken is being traced. What was stolen is being returned. Your miracles have been located one by one, and they are being prepared to come back to you in a multiplied form because God never returned something in the same condition when it was taken. He returns it bigger, louder, brighter, stronger.